Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? Happy Friday again. I am with you on Friday and I am with you to talk about books that are coming out in the month of October. This is part 2 in this series because there are so many. Everything that were in the first video should already be out by the time this video goes live, and everything in this video should be coming out over the rest of the month. As again, it's a big stack, so I should get started, but I hope you guys have been wonderful. I hope you have an amazing weekend planned, and I hope that you have some fun reading along the way. So we're going to start with a book that was sent to me by a publisher and is out on October 8th. So I want to thank Two Line Press. Now, Two Line Press is a local publisher to myself, and they do a lot of work in translation. This is Mina by Kim Sagwag, translated from the Korean by Bruce and Ju-Chan Fulton. Now, this is the story of Crystal. Now, I love this. Crystal, it appears to be your normal teenage girl. She's struggling in school. She's working hard in school, but she's also got a wild life that she is leading. And she has a best friend who's named Mina, and Mina has a brother who she is falling for. And the last line says, and Crystal is starting to lose her grip. I don't know exactly what that means, but I have a feeling that it is going to be fantastic. And this book was highlighted on my friend Matthew Sharapa's channel, and he's sort of my go-to for translated literature because he is such a fan. I find it fascinating that the book's main character is Crystal, but it's called Mina, so I'm very interested to see how that is all going to work out. So again, October 8th, this is out by Two Line Press. This is Mina by Kim Sagwag, translated from the Korean by Bruce and Ju-Chan Fulton. I love that cover too. Isn't that a great cover? The next book is out by Black Cat, which is actually an imprint of Grove, and that is One Part Woman by Perumal, Murugan. This is translated from the Tamil, and I'm going to hold up the name of the translator because there's just no way I'm going to do this name justice. So there's your translator for you. This is the story of a couple set at, let me remember, set in South India during the British colonial period. This is the story of Kali and Pona. They are a married couple that have been unable to have children. They have tried many things. They've sacrificed to different gods. They have circumvented a mountain that is supposed to bring fertility, and nothing has worked. And so what it says here on the back is that a more radical plan is required. So on the annual chariot festival, a celebration of the half-male, half-female god Madhurabagan, that is totally mispronounced. I guess at this festival, this carnival, the rules of marriage sort of loosen up, and you're allowed to sort of go outside of your couplehood because it's believed that men are gods on this night. And this may be the answer to their prayers to have a children, but what it really does is, what does it say here? But rather than bring them together, it soon threatens to drive the couple apart. I think that sounds really interesting. I think that's really cool. And I don't know much about this part of India. I've read a bit of Indian literature, but none translated from, I don't think so. So this is One Part Woman by Perumal, Murugan. This is out on October 9th, 2018. This is again out by Black Cat, which is an imprint of Grove. And again, I got that at BAE, so thank you very much there. This book was sent to me by the author and by the publisher, so I really appreciate that. And I've talked about it on my channel once before, and it is out on October 9th. And that's White Dancing Elephants, stories by Chaya Bhuvaneswar. So I'm sorry, she is super nice to me. She responds to all my videos and tweets. And this was the winner of the Dzanc Short Story Prize, and it is out by Dzanc Press. And this is a short story collection that focuses on, it says on the back here, Asian American women facing diversity. It deals with sexual harassment, racial violence, and also occasionally inflicting the violence on each other. I know that it has a queer aspect to it, and it has a very unique voice. It got a very solid write-up in Publisher Weekly, and I actually have a couple friends who have read it and have spoken highly of White Dancing of Elephants. I know she's coming to my area. I think I'm actually traveling while she's in town, but if she's coming to your area, definitely go support her. And that's White Dancing Elephants by Chaya Bhuvaneswar. Apologize, out by Dzanc Books on October 9th. Definitely take a look at it. Definitely worth getting on your radar. Short story collections, always worth talking about, right? Am I right? The next book and the next author probably need very little probably. The author needs no introduction. The book maybe needs a little bit more. This is Barbara Kingsolver's new novel, Unsheltered. This is out by Harper, and it comes out on October 16th. This book sounds fantastic. I need to read Barbara Kingsolver. I don't know why I haven't. This is the story of Willa Knox. Now, Willa lives in Vineland, New Jersey. She moves in and has inherited this home. She's living with her father-in-law, so a grumpy, I think they describe him as a cantankerous Greek father-in-law, and her two grown children, which you know they have their own issues. The house, the very first pages, which I have read, the house has issues, and she is trying to figure out a way to save it and come up with the money to do it. So she goes to the Historical Society in an attempt to see if the house has any historical significance and to see if she can get them to pay for the renovations to keep the house moving forward. In her research, she finds what they call what the flap calls her kindred spirit of the 1880s, Thatcher Greenwood. Now, Thatcher is a science teacher with a lifelong passion for honest investigation. He finds himself under siege in his community for telling the truth. His employer forbids him to speak of the exciting new theory recently published by Charles Darwin. Thatcher's friendships with a brilliant woman scientist and a renegade newspaper editor draw him into a vendetta with the town's most powerful men. At home, his new wife and status-conscious mother-in-law bristle at the risk of scandal and dismiss his financial worries, and the news of their elegant house is structurally unsound. So, I think that sounds really good. My friend Emily over at the Book Cougars has already read this and raved about it, and also told me, why haven't you read more Barbara Kingsolver? And a lot of people have told me that, so I need to get on it. I think this proof is phenomenal. It's so beautiful. So again, that is Unsheltered. It is out on October 16th from Harper, and I hope you all get a hold of it. If it is your first Barbara Kingsolver, we should do it. We should all do it together. The next book that I'm going to tell you about was also sent to me by the publisher. Thank you, New York Review of Books, which I absolutely love. And that is Anniversaries by U. Johnson. This comes out on October 16th. Now, I love New York Review of Books. From what I know, U. Johnson was a pretty famous German writer who came to New York in the 1970s. And this book is basically written like a diary, day to day, starting in 1976. His main character is a woman named Jacine. She's an immigrant living in the Upper West Side of New York. She works as a translator at a bank, and she's a single mother of a 10-year-old. And it says that she grew up and was just born when Hitler came to power. And she decides to tell her daughter about the lives of her grandparents and her own rural childhood in Nazi Germany. Now, this is in two sections. I've been told they're both very long and dense, but they're immersive, and they're definitely worth every page, and I am super excited about this, and I think the cover is just fun. So again, that's Anniversaries by U. Johnson. This is out on October 16th from the New York Review of Books. Just a couple more, just three more to tell you about. Out on October 16th as well is Melmoth by Sarah Perry. This is out by Custom House. I want to thank Custom House for getting me this copy. Now, I adored The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. So there's a lot living up to that in Melmoth. This is the story of Helen. Helen has moved from England to Prague, where she is working as a translator. That's coming as a theme, is it not? She has got a life going on until her friend Carl comes to Prague and discovers a mysterious letter in the library that's a confession about a myth or a warning about Melmoth the Witness, which is a fairy tale legend about Melmoth that travels through the ages, dooming those she persuades to join her to a damnation of timeless Inherent Solitude. Helen, of course, doesn't believe that, but all of a sudden she feels like she's being followed and her friend Carl disappears. I've heard that this book feels rather ominous at times. I think the cover is just gorgeous. So again, that's Melmoth. This is out by Sarah Perry on October 16th from Custom House Books. Next is another book that I've talked about already on the channel. It is part of the Book Expo Big Buzz YA novels. This is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. This is out in the new James Patterson imprint out from Little Brown. This is the story of Leigh. She is from the paper caste, the lowest and most oppressed class in this world that is the book takes place in. But she has these gold eyes that are so rumored that she catches the attention of the king. He brings her to the palace, basically to serve him. While she's there, she dreams of escaping, and she falls in forbidden love. Her forbidden romance, enmeshed with the plot of an explosive plot, threatens the king's reign and will force Leigh to decide just how far she's willing to go for her freedom. So I think that sounds really good. Everyone needs a good YA novel every once in a while. So this one is out on October 23rd. That's Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. Again, out by the James Patterson imprint from Little Brown. Last but not least is actually a book I'm super excited about, though I think the cover is a little bit predictable, but that is okay. This is Family Trust by Kathy Wang. This is out by William Morrow, and it comes out on the last day of the month, well, the second to last day of the month, October 30th. Maybe, are there 31 days in October? That may be me. October 30th. This is the story of Stanley Wang. Stanley is sort of the patriarch of the family. He is a father, a husband, an ex-husband. I love that they threw that there in the thing. And he has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and his life is, you know, coming to a close. Now, he has always talked about the money he has and the fortune he's going to give. But now that it's come to that point, the family starts to doubt. I think this is, I love the back here. It says, it's a family drama, which it sounds like it's going to be. And it says, for those who loved The Nest and Crazy Rich Asians, you'll eat this right up. It's very, well written, enjoyable, and fun to read. And I think that that just sounds really good. I love the idea of this sort of like, I think it's going to have humor. So this is Family Trust by Kathy Wang. And again, it's out by William Morrow, and it's out on October 30th. So those are that's the second half of the books that are coming out in the month of October. Told you there was a lot. So hopefully you got them out on your Goodreads list or your pen or your paper or however you take control of your TBR, and you've added a few books. As always, if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. You know this is why I do it. For those of you who are new to my channel, I hope you added a book to your TBR as well. And until next time, I wish you happy reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!